Yeah, so as you can see, the sun's gone, and we're still working on the aircraft. This is pretty much end of day 4, and we're still trying to get the inside pieces out. We're working on the cargo floor at the moment. Some of the screws naturally are being a little bit difficult in being removed, so a little bit of persuasion is needed. Richard and a new volunteer, Dave, who saw us on Plane Savers, they're working the floor at the moment, while Tom and Paul are blanking off the nose section after we removed the upper and lower nose radomes today. Now they were a little bit tricky, as to be expected I suppose after 75 years of being in place. Same thing for the two pt2 tubes. Took a little bit of heat to get them two out, but eventually they're removed and looking like they're in better shape than what night frights are, so naturally they're coming home to England to be used for night fright. Noticing a lot of people on Plane Savers were saying what a shame about how we're stripping this aircraft of all of its good components, and yeah, got to agree. This is a great looking C-47. Fuselage is great, no real corrosion issues. However, after years of being neglected in essence really, with minimal work being carried out on the aircraft in Peterborough, it suffered in one form or other, so it was never going to fly. Even though they're the best intentions of the previous owner willed it to fly, it was a task that was just too much for him. And Charlie's purchase of the C-47 obviously has meant that night fright will live. So even though it's a shame to see this bird being stripped of all its good stuff, it is for a greater cause. But you know, we are really thankful that this aircraft has been left unmolested, so to speak. You know, being with the Spanish Air Force for a number of years, they had the opportunity to remove loads of those original components that Douglas installed into it back in '44, but they didn't, and thank God they didn't really. And eventually this aircraft ended up in Canada, and again nobody removed those wonderful small little items that makes us a wartime kind of C-47. So we've got to really thank really that this aircraft was made available to us. It's just going to be that night fright's going to be that just a little extra bit special with all those little bits and pieces, which makes it a very, very originally looking aircraft. So from the rear, as you can see, the tail cone's off. Night fright's tail cone was in really poor shape with lots of damage on the tips. It could have been repaired. However, that would have taken a lot of time, a lot of money, and the easiest option really was to remove this one. It was definitely in a better condition, so it's gone. That was Charlie that removed this with a little bit of help from me. The rudder was removed way before we got to this aircraft. It's in the hangar. He'll come home with us. It's a good rudder by the looks of it, so it could be a spare for us eventually. The two exhaust heat exchangers, now they're in great shape, and they'll probably be used on night fright, so we're kind of really pleased with those. Really nice looking things. So yeah, we got one more day left. So we're up against it because tomorrow is literally packing day, and all these components have got to be put inside that container, but not just thrown in. They've got to be packaged nice and neatly and safely so that they survive the Atlantic crossing and not get any damage. Otherwise this trip would all have been in vain. But it's it's going to be a long day tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully we can get a few more volunteers. Hopefully we're going to be on plane savers again with Mikey. And if anybody from Peterborough is around and fancies using bubble wrap and tape for nearly an 8-hour stint, then they are more than welcome to come along and help us out. So I won't show you much of the inside because it's getting pretty dark. So hopefully there's Richard and Dave busy with the floor. So this could end up being quite a long evening for us because our rental compressor has to go back tonight. So and we need that compressor for the air tools for the floor. So I'll come around the other side of the aircraft because it's a little bit quieter away from that compressor. Weather-wise, it's been a good day. There's been no wind today at all. The sun's been out all day. It's actually melted a lot of snow that's not been on the upper surfaces of the wings, which has revealed a few items. There were stainless steel fuel vents on the wings. They are quite rare really to have stainless steel ones, and the boys in Coventry were contemplating kind of fabricating a set, but they were going to be kind of a costly and a timely kind of thing to kind of fabricate. So luckily they were fitted to this aircraft, and it was quite easy to remove.